So Community Park 2.0 finally completed, and our first enclosure I'll have a look at. There we go. I can never pronounce these names half the time without actually practicing. Monolophosaurus. Some of them I really struggle, like tongue twisters. But yeah, someone asked for a racetrack of these, and somehow they get into the middle, even though none of the gates are open. So yeah, sort of built like a little racetrack area for them, which I thought looked pretty snazzy. Now over here we have the Gallimimus enclosure. It was meant to look a bit like when you first see them in Jurassic Park, and they wanted a safari ride around it. Then if we hop over here, this is the Parasaur enclosure. Sort of like very hilly, and yeah, there's a few of these guys knocking around here. I accidentally clicked them to build. I was like, oh sorry, I'll just throw them in somewhere. And they sort of fit in with this enclosure. Then we pop over to this one. This is the Scorpius Rex, or as I like to call it, Venom. Like, look at the green on its like quills. It's so cool. And yeah, it's like meant to be like an abandoned facility sort of thing, rather than like off show. So like the pretty cool looking, I think. Hidden in this foresty area is probably one of my favourite ones. So this is the Kronosaurus, but when you have the skin on, it sort of really looks like the BBC's Walking with Dinosaurs like Pleurodon, which is pretty cool, to be honest. Let's carry on going over here, shall we? So this is the T-Rex Oasis. And it's meant to be red and white, but you can't really get those colours too well together. So I end up doing two of them rather than the one of them. And yeah, they look pretty cool, and there's zip wire over it. This is the homocephaly. Yeah, homocephaly. It's really struggle pronouncing it again. This is the petting zoo area. These little guys. There's some turquoise ones in here, which I really like. There you go, you see it over there. I do like the turquoise ones. Loads of seating area for like the guests, and you know, I quite like when you do like sort of oasis swampy area using like the bamboo canes as like a decoration. That's pretty cool, to be honest. One of my favourite enclosures in the game is this one here. So this is for the Tyrannosaurus. They asked if I made it so it look a bit like when you first see them in Camp Cretaceous, and I even used the Camp Cretaceous skin on them. So yeah, in like a shipping container area, even built it next to the water, so it looks like a ship comes in and drops all these off, and you know, posh toilet area for the staff. Obviously a drinking hole for the dinosaurs, but yeah, it looks ace. Like, I really like to me this is very aesthetically pleasing. It's an enclosure, and I'll zigzag over it. What have we got here? Sinoceratops in sort of like a jungle marsh, and I do like these guys. Nice decent herd of them knocking about. And jump to this one. This is the Allosaurus enclosure, red and green. Desert with a bit of a watery oasis watering hole. Two of them are fast asleep. So over here is the Amargasaurus enclosure. Sort of grasslandy, a bit of hill in the corner to break it up. Cool little dinosaur this. Oh. Bit of watering hole again, hill at the back. I like the way this enclosure looks, to be honest. Over here we have the Velociraptor enclosure. This has the Jurassic Park 3 male and female variants in it. There's a female. I do like the female skin from Jurassic Park 3. I'll try and find a male hidden in this forest. Just make it easy that way. I'll roll in the corner near enough. Oh, there we go. Another female. You see the quilled males. Pretty cool looking. And we'll jump into this one. This is the Byronyx one, if I remember rightly. Yep. So yeah, this is I quite like making these like marshland, sort of like Everglade feeling. I always use the horsetail trees just to make it look more marshy. Pretty cool. In here we have the Is it Corydosaurus? Oh no, the Acrocanthosauruses. They're in here. Beefy as anything. But yeah, so I made it so it's like a pit enclosure. I kind of wish, I forget the name of it right now. I did study animals way back when. But the enclosure where you do concrete straight down and then you lift it up so it like makes like a moat. So like they're eye level with you, but they can't get to you in a sense. I thought that'd be kind of cool if you could do that. But that's what I said I was going to go for that, but then it made the enclosure look tiny, so I just kept it as a pit enclosure with this zip line going over it. Still, I quite like the aesthetic of this one. Come over here, we've got the Triceratops enclosure, like a sort of like a redwood style enclosure. Do love the Triceratops. But yeah, nice big hill in the back. Over here is the Stratosaurus enclosure, I do believe. Yeah, there's our pack of Stratosauruses. And inside their enclosure, they have some little friends. Some gumpies. Little tiny ones. Again, bit of Oasis sort of vibe to it. Desert on the outskirts. And we'll go over to here. I'm guessing this is the Giga. Yeah. Giganotosaurus enclosure with this sandy skin. And when I got asked for this, luckily it's just when they made it so you can add the different colours to the skins. So that's pretty cool. Not missing anyone. Nope. So over here is the Spinosaurus enclosure with a few extra friends. So they wanted like an island surrounded by in the middle of a pond, surrounded by a forest, and a blue Spinosaurus. Well, as blue as I can get it. And then I ended up at the island. He never goes on the island, the Spinosaurus always sticks to the forest and the water. I've never seen him in the middle of the enclosure every time I built something on it. So I just added these little dudes, little minis. And I think they really like add to the enclosure really. It's kind of cool. And they only stay on this island. And then there's another 3 Bionics in here, just randomly. I made too many for the actual Bionics enclosure, so I just docked 3 in here just to fill it out a bit. And so over here is the Troodon enclosure. Meant to be extremely foresty, they asked for, and I did a bit of all sorts to break up the forest. But these guys are cool. Got a corner on them. Yeah, this is a little Troodon enclosure. Over here, it's like meant to be like the original scene I got asked for. So it's got Paras, it's got Brachys. Don't have Patasaurus in it, but they wanted these as well. Stegosaurus and Triceratops. All with the original skins and colourings on from when you first see them. Also, Stegosaurus was the original, I don't know, was it? But pretty vibey. They wanted the enclosure to be that quite open, water, a few trees knocking about. And then we'll go into this one. So this is the Dimorphodon enclosure. They wanted it as cliffy as I could make it, so I tried making it look like the seaside cliffs, even got like a little abandoned castle sort of thing in there. And there's a few different skins in here, like the new fluffy skin. I say fluffy, feathery skin. But yeah, I quite like that enclosure. Again, I wish you could make things more cliffy, more vertical, but as best as you can do in the game. Here we go. So here's the Iguanodon, which I do love. The skin reminds me of like the skin you could get, I think it was for Edmontosaurus in the original Jurassic Park Operation Genesis. And this was a seaside cliff on the side. These dudes and let's pronounce the name, Corydocanthus, which I'm guessing they got inspiration from the BBC's Walking Dinosaurs again, because you see a herd of iguanodons going down the beach being followed by a little Polycanthus, if I remember rightly. Or was it Nodosaurus? I can't quite remember. So this is our Hell's Aquarium. So we've got Ichthyosaur, Plesiosaur and a Liplorodon in here. Decoration on the seabed, so it's quite a big enclosure. Where are you? I do like looking at Liplorodons. They always stay together, these two, I've noticed. They don't really ever break apart. Yeah, I do like the sea creatures and that lot. We should like do sea tunnels and stuff underneath it like you see at aquariums. Next thing to show you. What else to show? We completely skipped over this really tiny little enclosure with Morris and Intrepidus. Morris Intrepidus. Wait, you're completely underwater, unfazed. There we go. I do like these things. Really heavy-footed for such a tiny little, like, T-Rex. Like, I'm trying to saw it, what you want to say. This is not a T-Rex, is it? So we've seen the Giga, we've all been here. So these are our nighttime parasols, so obviously quite dull during the day, but then if we go to sandbox settings, we go into the environment and change it to nighttime. We have some really pretty ones, glow in the dark ones from the Camp Cretaceous pack, which I do quite like. Then over here is our Dinosaur coastal forest. So it's quite sandy, and I may have made this too big for the amount of dinosaurs that were in it. Here we go. Nice little colours. Over here, I think it's Metrocanthosaurus. Swamp? Yeah, it's Metrocanthosaurus swamp. Fast asleep. Cool as ever. I like all the dinosaurs they added. Again, that sort of like Everglades swampy kind of feel I tried going for. I wish they like long grass, so then it'd be perfect. They can add to it. We'll work our way around. So this is our Stegosaurus forest with 12 Stegosauruses in it. A bit of like a island pond again, redwood forest around it. Pretty small but cool looking enclosure. In here is a very forest area. Let's try and see one. There we go. I'll try and get the word up so I can try and pronounce it better. Tropusnegus. Tropusnephus. Tropiogonaphus. Man, my pronunciation these are terrible. Let's say Tropusnephus for this one. But yeah, I do like these guys, pretty cool. The person asking for them wanted them in the forest. The only break in the forest is this feeding pond here, and it's got all the stands on and whatnot. Then over here, what we have is our Carnotaurus sort of oasis ditch. So density around the outside with the oasis greens in the middle, and there's Toro. Yeah, quite a cool tiny little enclosure. This one is for the oviraptors. Again, sort of like a foresty open ground one, different colours. Yeah, very apparent looking. There's one I quite like, there's yellow and blue knocking around in there somewhere. Is it you? No. Is it you? No, but so cool looking skin. I like all the bright feathers. Somewhere in there. Bright colours on those, quite nice. This is the Ferrocenosaurus enclosure again. Swampy with a bit of forest just to like fill out the enclosure. Really cool dinosaur. And then whatever this is, this is a Carnotaurus enclosure. These are pretty cool looking. I should get the skin like so it looks like the ones from the Jurassic Park Operation Genesis. I like that like tan, black and red look. Again, bit of forest and a river at the front sort of thing. And I think we've seen the entirety of the park now. So that was all the enclosures. I tried making this a bit quicker than the last ones. The last one was quite a long video going through the first park. But again, if there's anything you want to revisit in the park, let me know down in the comments and I can probably give you a more detailed look at the entire enclosure. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this and see you in the next one.